Hi, my darlings. I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are reacting to episode 15 of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Episode 14 was crazy. We found out that King Bradley is a sin, he is Wrath, but not only is he a sin and a homunculus, he's one that ages and can also reproduce because he has a child, which sets him apart from all the others because they can't do that. So it's kind of begging the question as to why is it so that he blends in and fits more seemingly into society and doesn't raise suspicion as much as the others would, because the others don't really age, and well, they don't age because it's weird that he does age. So they don't age, they can't have children. So obviously if they just live for like an indefinitely long period of time in a position of power and authority, it's going to look really weird. People are going to start asking questions like, how are you not aging? How are you still so young? This doesn't make sense. This is weird. Whereas having one that ages and has a child kind of allows him to infiltrate positions of power without anyone kind of really looking too deep into it, because no one's gonna know that he's an homunculus. How would anybody know unless he reveals it or shows his eye? But Ed and Al are a bit not sure about everything that's going on or why King just showed up here, but also the fact that they keep going on about how they need to know more and they need all this information. And yet, instead of capturing them to get the information, he then just proceeded to kill everybody, which has made them kind of go, why would you do that? Something's weird. Al unlocked his memories. So, as to how that's going to play out, I'm not sure. But it did look like in the memories, the warped figure that I always presumed to be the mom, and still could be the mom, it was Al reaching out to Ed. Like he could see through that perspective. So, part of me is now like, is that the mom or was that actually Al? And then his body got destroyed because technically it came back as this weird, monstrous thing. And in killing that, it freed his soul to be transmuted into the suit of armor. Or maybe his soul was in that weird monstrosity. And then when he transmuted the soul, the monstrosity existed separate to Al, but Al's soul was initially in it. Not sure, but it's just very weird that he's seeing from that perspective. Again, it'll probably become clearer as the show goes on. But yeah, my mind is in a tizzy. I have more questions than I do answers, which we love that because it means that the show is not predictable and we're not suddenly being handed answers because they think we're incapable of actually paying attention and figuring things out and learning as we go. So I like that the mystery thriller element is really building with the series, and that we are 15 episodes in and I kind of still have no clue really what is going on, other than they're desperate to learn as much as they can about the Philosopher's Stone, because obviously the Philosopher's Stone is seen as what could give them their bodies back. And then because of the Philosopher's Stone, they've then sort of had a run-in with the Sins and their mission to sacrifice people, probably to make more stones. But that has then resulted in Hughes discovering something and Hughes dying because of what he's discovered. So it's really kind of ramping up. And I want Roy to start being like, something's wrong, something's off. And Roy to maybe start investigating on his side, because he's been excluded and kind of left out. And I think that's because King knows that Roy would be like, something's not right here. And Roy would then utilize that as a means of investigating King. So I think King wanted Ed and Al to not speak with Roy because Roy would be the person that would maybe start investigating into him. Because if he makes Ed and Al sus of Roy and anyone else in the military, it keeps his position more secure, because then they're telling him information that they're not telling anyone else. So he can suppress that information or make them think that no one in the military can be trusted, and therefore they don't have anyone they can rely on to actually help them. It's his way of isolating them further from those that could actually provide help and assistance in uncovering this plot and bringing an end to it. But without further ado, we're going to get into episode 15. Oh my god!
この白金の錬金術師ジョリオ・コマンチに戦いを挑む
He has an epic mustache too. Scar is so cool. I know we're probably not supposed to like Scar, but I think he's really awesome. He looks like the Monopoly man. What the fuck? He's a Beyblade. What?
なかなかやりよるかすっただけとはなかすっただけか
Whoa. I didn't know what to expect there. I didn't expect him to like dive in after him, but then he can't really let him go, can he? Also, new intro, which we can't watch because we haven't watched the other intro and I'm scared of spoilers, but yeah, new intro unlocked.
なんだそいつは
あ、旦那、お戻りでしたか。
なんだそいつは
はじめまして。メイちゃんと申します。
Oh, she's so cute. Little panda. I'm so scared something's gonna happen to her. I'm kind of traumatized now from like cute children being introduced and then murdered horrifically.
傷口を塞ぎます。
Oh, she's an alchemist. Oh, look at her go.
治った。
秦国に伝わる練炭術です。
そうなんすよ。こいつ、あの東
On
の
her
大
own?
一人で越えてきたらしいですね。
What?
バカでしょ。
一人じゃありません。一人と一匹です。
She's like, don't
ってそのちっこいののこと
discredit
か。
my
そうで
friends.
す。シャオメイです。
I thought he was gonna like kill the panda. I was like, don't you
練炭
dare.
術ですね。この入れ墨は我が国の練炭術の流れを組むものです。
That's how I feel right now. What?
兄は練炭術と錬金術の両方
Right, okay, so they're like separate branches.
その研究の成果だ
何のことやらよくわかんねえですけど、無事怪我も治ったし。
Same Bessie. I don't understand either.
遊びに行くんじゃねえんだぞこっちは。
私だって真剣です。
But you rescued her and took care of her, so obviously
あるわけないだろう。
あります。私
must care about her to some regard. I love that panda.
不老不死練炭術ではなし得ませんでした。でも錬金術なら。
You go, panda.
だから私は噂に聞くあの人に会わなくてはいけ
She
ま
wants
せん。
to meet Ed.
金髪に金色の瞳、赤いコートをさっそうと着こなし、華麗に人々を救う
Who is
錬
this?
金術師。
I bet the first thing she says about him is that he's short. You're smaller than I thought you'd be. Oh my gosh, she's adorable. I am scared though something bad's gonna happen to her because I don't know, this show has a history of it.
どうしたのブラックハヤテ号。
こんな時間に一人で歩いてちゃ
Barry!
そんなこっちゃ。このバリー
Barry's back.
襲われちまうぜ。いきなり何すんの。
I was wondering what happened to Barry.
これでどうだ。
She's like, it's not gonna stop me.
似たような人を知ってるから。
似た？アルフォンスなんとかってやつか。
She looks so good. I love her skirt.
しかし姉さん、お強いですね。
Oh no, Barry's in love. I'm in love too. It's okay, Barry. But you can't have her, only me. So this is how Roy's gonna start learning more about what's going on within the
その研
military.
究者を調べれば実験を指示した者の素性がわかるかも。
もう石を作る必要がなくなったということでしょうか。
I think there'll always be a need.
最後に一つ聞こう。
It's people's lust for power, and also they're imperfect, aren't
セントラ
they?
ルの電話ボックスで軍将校を殺害したのはお前か。
知らねえよ。そいつ切り裂かれていたのか。
Why do I like Barry? He's psychotic, but he's kind of really endearing at the same time. Winry!
本日もご機嫌うるわしゅう。
I didn't expect us to see Winry. Oh, okay. Makes sense. She's like, I'm fucking sick of you.
スリはやめて。今は屋根の修理とか高いところの作業を仕事にして生活してる。
Look at
あんたたち
her
は
go!
どうなの？ちょっとは前に進んだ？
まあ遠回りだけど。少しずつ進んではいる。
I should have suspected that we were going to go back to Rush Valley at some point, but it's always nice to see Winry.
なんだ。猫でも拾ったのか。
Oh my god, he's so mean.
ごっそさん。
おごるなんて言ってねえし。
小さいこと気にしない。いやしかし異国で触れる人情ありがたいね。
Oh, little panda on his handkerchief. Is he from the east as well?
シンから来た。
He is.
シンって東の大国の？
そう。いやー砂漠越え大変だったよ。
Okay, how many have crossed the desert?
エルクセス遺跡を見ておきたかったから。
クセルクセス？
Like the
あそ
Persian
こは
king?
何もないって聞いたけど。
Xerxes destroyed the Spartans, did he not? Did he? Like I've heard the name Xerxes before. Let me do a quick Google. Yeah, Persian ruler who served as fourth king and he was assassinated. I'm pretty sure he fought the Spartans, did he not? Yeah, the Battle of Thermopylae. Or Thermopylae. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, I had a feeling. Aha, big brain. I was like, I've heard that name before. Where have I heard that name before? And it's not from the movie because I've never watched the movie. It's from Assassin's Creed Odyssey of all things. It's actually a very good game. I really enjoy it, but I've never actually got around to finishing that game. But I love the intersection of Greek mythology and history into being a badass sort of warrior because you're not really an assassin. You are an assassin, but you're kind of not. You're more like a blade for hire mercenary, that's the word, which is great. It's such a fun game. I really need to go back and actually see it through to completion. I always get like halfway and then I get distracted by something else and then just never finish it.
俺たちの国では練炭術といって医学方面に秀でた技術なんだ。
へえ。
So that's why she was able to heal his wounds because it's more medicinal, whereas theirs it's more weaponry.
国境付近で小競り合いが絶えねえし、北は北で大国ドラクマが控えてる。一応不可侵条約を結んでるけど、ブリックスさんが邪魔だから攻めてこないだけで。
Are they supposed to be like Russia, like symbolically? It kind of seems that way, like a vast wintry landscape and a tense peace.
こんなに軍事に傾いてきたのは、今のブラックの大総統になってからかな。
Almost like it's all connected.
それにしても興味あるよね。医学に特化した練炭術ってやつ。な
あ、リン、その練炭術ってやつさ、詳しく教えてくれよ。
無理。俺練炭術師じゃないから。ちょっと探し物。
What?
君たちなら知ってるかな。賢者の石。
No! What?
すっごく欲しいんだけど。
さあ、知らねえよ。
Oh, you real sus.
何か知ってるみたいだね。教えてくれないかな。
Sir, please. This isn't what Winry meant when she said waste time, because it's very odd that they both came from the east.
不老不死なんざ。
真剣だよ。
何にせよ。
And both crossed the desert.
尋ねる態度とは。思えねえな。
貴様も逆らうか。
Jesus Christ! They're fast, man.
先生より
弱い。
ありゃりゃ。
入っちゃったよ。うん。おっちゃん、デザート追加ね。はい。
He's like, I'll sit here until it's done. He's so unfazed. So what is this obsession with immortality? Because both of them from the East are looking for immortality, but why? Have they been sent by someone powerful because of what it can provide?
くそ賢者の石だ不老不死だといきなり喧嘩ふっかけてきやがって何を企んでるお前もあの糸目バカも当たったこいつあの野郎のことを糸目バカっつったとだ
Yeah, he didn't like that.
何やってんの一体。
It's like, what's the fun about?
そうだパニーニャ。
She's so casual about it. Al is like fighting for his life. I love that they're Masa, yin and yang. They balance each other.
どうした動き見えてきたぞ部下がこの程度じゃあのリンって野郎もたかが知れてるってもんだな
To be fair, it's not a bad tactic. Rouse someone up, they start losing all control, making stupid mistakes. It's acting in anger instead of concentrated movement. It's gonna be a girl. You could tell from the grunts. God damn, I love her ultimate. It's so cool.
まあ初めてならこんなものかな。さてと、兄さんは無事かな。
Hanging in there.
やりすぎた。リン様に叱られてしまう。
Oh,
街中でなんちゅうもの使うんだ俺じゃなかったら死んでたぞ
貴様、自ら腕を。
ガキの頃散々お酒を追い回したんでねトラップなんざお手の物さ
all comes full circle.
はーい、お疲れさん。
What? Why is he so happy? What?
たち強いね。
Did he want to like
俺の部下になって
prove something? Like what?
寝ぼけたこと言ってんじゃねえぞこらとっとと死に
お前ら随分と町壊してくれたな。弁償しろ。飯代よろしく。
He's like, I didn't dine.
その鶴が
私この国の言葉わからないよ。さよな
Don't blame me. I'm just a foreigner. I don't understand. That's iconic.
いいよ兄さん、僕がやるから。
Look how angry that dog looks in the background. The dog looks like it has a little
真理
mustache.
の記憶が戻ったからだと思う。
Oh yeah. Uh-oh.
あとは僕に任せて。
He's like, I have nothing left to give. Not only is he taller, he remembers everything. I love this show.
二人はうちに代々仕える一族なんだ。よろしくな。まあ、俺一応王子だし。
Wait.
は？
王子
So has he been sent here by the Emperor to
普通驚くところで。
find the source of immortality or what?
こんな生き倒れて人に召したがるようなやつが王子様だなんて
Uh-oh. She's having none of it. I'd love to see her go up against Winry. It'd be an epic showdown.
そして各民族の長の娘が皇帝に嫁ぎ。
Jeez.
今の皇帝には王子24人、王女19人
God,
がい
he
て
doesn't fuck about, does
俺
he?
はその中の12番目だ。 皇帝の体調がかなり悪くてね。どの民族も今のうちに取り入ろうと躍起になっている。
What if May is one of the children too?
お餌にして取り入る。
ご名答。
If there's 43 kids, maybe she is one of
賢者の石の
them.
情報を教えないとどこまでもついていくぞ。
He's like, please, I don't want you to be
なんか大
involved.
通りの方で大きな騒ぎになってて
She's gonna scream.
もめてんのよ
Oh, Winry. Technically, it wasn't his fault this time.
ものに頭を下げなくても。
俺の頭一つで済むなら安いもんだろ
He probably likes
う。
it. People treating him like he's normal instead of
なりふり構ってられんよ。
a prince, you know?
次はどこに行って
Why are so many people
で
dependent on him? What's going on? I can't tell if I trust him or not. I'm so like sus of everyone.
ヒューズさん家にお礼を言いに
Oh
でも
no!
家に仕事あるんで
They
し
still
ょ
don't know.
いいわよウィンリーちゃん、たまには息抜きしてらっしゃい。
そんじゃあみんなで。
行きますかセントラル
Oh,
楽しみだな、セントラル。
you're not going. Oh, they don't know. So like they're gonna learn next episode, aren't they?
イシュバールの民は自分の名を神より賜ったものとして誇りを持って呼ぶ。ゆえに俺は名を捨てた。行け、進め。
Because he doesn't feel like he can bring pride to his god anymore.
道ならば神より賜りし者すべて捨てゆく。
Oh, I really like Scar. I don't know. I find him incredibly fascinating. I know we're probably not supposed to like him because he's technically a villain, but I kind of can't help but like him because I feel really sorry for him because he essentially has been used and abused by the government of another country that isn't even the ones that are in charge of Ishvale, and he has had to see so many people lose their lives in horrible ways. He's been subjected to a genocide slash ethnic cleansing. So like, how can you not like him is the thing. I guess maybe the more you learn, maybe the more you don't like him, but I find it really hard to not like him because of everything he's been through. I find him really endearing. He's very like cagey when he speaks about his brother, and I'm wondering if potentially it could be that his brother is alive, but his brother is not the same since what happened in Israel. Maybe his brother was subjected to torture or mistreatment or only just survived and isn't in the best of health, and that's why he finds it difficult to look upon him because he feels as if he wasn't able to protect him. Almost in a similar way to Ed feeling that guilt that he couldn't protect Al and he couldn't save him from the fate that he's ended up in. So I'm wondering if that's going to be sort of like a running theme slash connection between Ed and Scar, is how one reacts and behaves towards their siblings, and that sense of guilt when you feel as if you let down someone that loves and cares for you the most, that you couldn't protect them in the way that you feel you should have done. And it's learning to manage and balance that guilt. And, you know, we're seeing Ed sort of come to terms with it on this journey that he's going on. Whereas Scar could potentially be the reverse of that. If it's going the way I think it's going, he could be the side where he's unable to let it go and therefore has gone down a path that he can never come back from, which is what the mentor was essentially saying to him. If you go down this path, there is no turning back. You are going against everything we believe in. You need to move on and forgive because the path ahead of you is just full of destruction and death. And he makes a decision to still continue going down it. So I'm wondering if he's sort of being shown as the consequence of what happens if you don't come to terms with your guilt and if you don't address that simmering trauma. But Roy now knows more about what's going on. So this is going to be his way of starting to investigate and try and decipher what is happening within the internal military, because even he's like, I think they had to have been involved somehow. And he's suspecting, obviously, that Hughes's death is connected. And it wasn't Barry. I don't know what it is with Barry. Barry is really endearing to me. He's just so sweet. But yeah, it's going to be interesting how it all plays out, especially now that the East has been brought in and there's been mention of other countries too. So we're maybe going to potentially see their impact on the narrative, because the East, we now have got some information in terms of that rather than using it as offensive weaponry, they use alchemy as medicinal for healing purposes. It's seen as being able to provide and care for others, whereas here within their country, it's militaristic. It's used as a weapon. It's used as an offensive. It's a way to turn the tide on a battle. It's used to eradicate your enemies and to establish power and control, especially since King took over, because as Ed was saying, we only became more militaristic when he became Führer, meaning that that's not how it was before. It's been pushed that way, motioned that way. It's his way of establishing control, but also potentially it's maybe the way to justify taking over other countries. Because if you're using it as a means of establishing control and you become more militaristic, then partly one of your desires would be to conquer more territory, to rule as much of the world as you possibly can. So I'm wondering if that's where it's sort of going, that's what his intention is to sow discontent in order to justify the level of violence that is conducted by the military and the government, because it's seen as a necessary action. And then as a consequence, they could establish martial law, they could take over, because they believe that they cannot be safe if this area exists. So sort of in the same way that they eradicated the people of Israel and only some people survived, it was their way of taking over and using it sort of as a justification to wield that level of force. So it could be part and parcel in terms of wanting to take control and establish power to a wide degree by having all this influence on so many other countries around you, not just the country you're currently ruling. But then that would also tie in with the Sins and their goal of creating Philosopher's Stones, because of the sacrifice of life that would then contribute to them being able to make the Philosopher's Stone. So it could be that it's just working in conjunction, but we won't really know until sort of more is dropped and more is revealed. It's kind of all still a bit up in the air. But May is so cute, and her little panda. I really don't want anything bad to happen to her. I'm too traumatized by Nina and Alexander and being like, oh my god, they're so cute. Look at how adorable they are. I hope nothing happens to them. And then something awful happens to them. And then Alicia is really, really cute and adorable. And then she loses her dad in a horrific and traumatic way. So now I'm looking at May and I'm like, please don't let anything bad happen to her. She is so precious and cute, and I just love that her little panda just takes no shit. When Scar was reaching out his hand, I was really worried that he was gonna try and kill the panda, and I'm like, Scar, that's ridiculous. Like, the panda hasn't done anything, but potentially the hand could have been reaching out to be almost a gesture of curiosity, because he wanted to know what the panda was, because he presumed that May was on her own, and then she was like, no, we crossed together, so she wasn't just on her own. But as to why there's people depending on this Philosopher's Stone is going to be interesting to see how that develops, because that's two people from the East that have come over in the search of immortality, and both of them know who Ed is, and both of them know that he's connected somehow to this idea of immortality in the Philosopher's Stone. So where has this come from? Who's sent them? And why are there like 5,000 people dependent on this knowledge? Either way, I love this show. It's so funny, it's so quirky, but yeah, it's so impactful in terms of the meanings that it shows us. And all the characters are just so good. I just died at the scene where they're like, but we didn't eat and we didn't do the damage. It was his fault. And he was like, oh, I'm just a farmer. I don't understand the language. I can't help you here. You need to deal with him. And then runs off. I was like, that is just level of iconic I have never seen before. It's just so funny because I guess all of us, regardless of where we come from, could probably see ourselves doing that in a situation where we're like, oh shit, I can't talk my way out of this. And you're in a different country with different customs and you're not quite sure how to like evade getting in trouble, that you would maybe play the, oh sorry, I'm a foreigner, I don't understand card. Of course not if you've done something incredibly bad, but if it's just like an innocent mistake, I'm sure we've all been there where we've been like, I don't understand the rules, I'm not from here. I'm 100% sure people can tell me in the comments if they've ever done anything like that, if you've ever experienced that or used that as an excuse in a country that you visited to get out of something. I would love to know. I imagine there'll be some funny stories. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next episode, bye!